Good morning, everyone. I'm starting a little bit late today, but let's never too late to do something good. So let's begin the day by giving charity. Oh, shalom, Abba. Shalom. Started a little bit late today, but here we go. Wonderful. Let's give charity today. Tzion b'mishpat tepara. The Jewish people will be redeemed with charity. Do good deeds, and Hashem will do good deeds to you. Here we go. Ready? Coin. Charity box. Now, let's begin to learn. If we remember, yesterday we learned about dreams. That this whole week we're going to be dealing with dreams, the results of dreams. Joseph has a dream about him and his brothers, and then after that he gets thrown into prison, and because of that his brothers hate him. And then after that he gets gets thrown into prison. End of this week's Torah portion, and there's dreams, the dreams of two prisoners. And because of those two dreams, as next week we'll see that Paro has dreams, and because of the dreams that he interpreted in prison, as he interprets Paro's dream, and suddenly he becomes jettisoned to be the ruler of the whole entire world because of dreams. And so it says even more that that's something like the future redemption. The future redemption, it says King David said in his book of Psalms, Psalm 126, that in the future, when the Moshiach, we will be like dreamers. Here, let's have a look over here. Where is it? One second. Here we go. It's a Shir HaMalus, the Song of Elevations. When God brings all the Jews back to Israel, B'shuv Hashem es Shivat Zion, when God brings everybody back, all the Jews back to Israel, then we will be like dreamers. Then we will be like dreamers. You can say we'll realize that we were dreaming all this time of exile, or we can say that when in the future, when God takes us back, then we'll be like dreamers. So when are we going to be like dreamers? So the Rebbe says, first of all, the exile is a time of a big dream. And in a dream, the unique thing of a dream is that all these things happen in a dream. Things happen, you could relate to the things that are happening, but they're all mixed up. So the two opposites can happen at the same time. A person can dream that he's in one place and in another place at the same time, that he's in an airplane, and that he's sitting at home, and he's with his best friend, and suddenly all of a sudden he's being eaten by an animal, and the next one is he's eating the animal, and the next thing, and it's all happening at the same time. How can all these opposites? Okay, good. That's a dream. What does it got to do with us in the time of exile? Says the Rebbe, well, the time of exile, really, the Jews are now in exile. It's really being revealed a tremendously high level of godliness, where everything is unified, that opposites can be together, which on one hand, that's a terrible thing, because a person can be honest in 1 second, and the next second, right, in talking about honesty and truth and justice, and the next second, he can do exactly the opposite of what he's telling everybody else to do. Even more, he can do the opposite of what he really believes, and he can excuse it. So we see it's a time of it's like a dream in the time of exile. A person can be the best, most moral, most the conscientious person in the world, and at the same time, suddenly they reveal that this person is doing all sorts of terrible things. So which one is genuine? That he's a cheater and that he's a liar and that or he's really doing good things and doing honest things. And so I say, well, you can say, well, you listen, the real person is the nice guy. He just couldn't control himself. Or no, maybe the real person is the bad guy. He's just covering it over. But it's a big question. Says the Rebbe over here, both of them can be true. It can both be true. That the person can really be genuinely 100% a good, righteous person. And at the same time, he can be the opposite. You can be a cheater and a liar and a this. How can it possibly happen? So the Rebbe says, because we're in exile. Exile is the time when all sorts of opposites happen. Okay, so of course that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. I mean, being a liar or a cheater or whatever is not good. It doesn't make any difference if he's also, in addition, really genuinely an honest person, a godly person. It's just the world, woke something up inside of him. Says the Rebbe, no. First of all, number one, this gives us the opportunity, just like, have a totally righteous and a good person that he can do bad things, and the both of them are genuine. So it can be the other way around also, that a person that's really bad, he truly bad, is he can also be truly good. And he can flip around. He can flip in 1 second. A person can actually change himself in one instant, that in 1 second he was a liar, evil, a murder, went against the whole entire Torah. All the 10 commandments and all the other, everything you could possibly find, he did it. And suddenly he transformed. That's sort of what we've been learning about, the whole goal of Yitzchak and then afterwards Yaakov to transform Esav. Esav was like the granddaddy of, crime bosses. And he did it all himself. And he encouraged everybody else to do it, and to rebel against all the conscience and principles and laws and life and everything, just to, how to say, I want it all and I want it now. That was Esav. And the goal was to transform him. How can we possibly transform such an evil person like that? It's because we're like dreamers. It's like a dream. And in a dream, things can transform in 1 instant. You can go back. Okay, says the Rebbe, good, but, very nice. But as far as we've learned up to now, that is definitely not a good thing. It's definitely not a good thing. Yes, true, the evil can transform to good, but there still is evil. The evil still exists. So what's going on? So he says, well, in the future is going to be revealed the source of what dreams are. This power of God that unites all opposites. It's above all opposites. Okay. But here we go. Second, where am I here? 1 second. Oh, here we go. Okay, so to reveal this source of dreams, which in its essence is the true unity of God, that bad and good can exist simultaneously. But let's maybe put it in another way. The source of evil. What's the source of evil? God. God is the source of everything. God creates everything there is in the world. How can God create evil? So that must be if God creates evil. So maybe God is not so good. Maybe God is not so good. Says, oh no, God is always God. God is the ultimate. He is the source of all good. Yeah, but he's the source of all evil. You just finished saying. Says, yeah, well, evil is also good. So, whoa, that's really weird. I mean, how can evil also be good? So, of course, the answer to that is that God wants free will. And so he put into the world the potential for evil, and he tells us not to do it. He doesn't want people to do evil, but he wants there to be the potential to make mistakes. That's what gives humans their human nature. You can change yourself. You can change. You can decide to go against your own nature. This is a very, very, very deep thing, but it's a very basic thing. Excuse me. I'm a very big fan of Professor Viktor Frankl. Professor Viktor Frankl, the Rebbe, said that all the other psychiatrists and all these other, that they looked into human personnel and all they found was muck and dirt, and he found diamonds. Viktor Frankl, his basic thing is, and he was a psychiatrist, and always a brain surgeon also, and he was a professor in philosophy as well. he went through the camps. Anyway, he says the basic thing, what he says is that the essence of a human being is his power of choice. And that he's not talking about religion. He's not talking about religion. Leaves religion another thing. Just the essence of what a human being is, he has the power of free choice. And this free choice he can use to discover meaning in everything that he does. Meaning everything that he does. And this is a basic thing what we're talking about over here. How to use your free choice. And of course, in order to have free choice, you have to what to choose from. So God creates the possibility to do evil. And in God's essence, this evil can be transformed to good. Can be transformed to good. If you transform to good, then it's not evil anymore, right? It says good. This is not understandable, but this is like a dream. Just like in a dream. A person in a dream, he dreams that he's being eaten by a fish, and then he dreams that he's eating the fish. And he says, so he says, in order for that, the source of all of this good and evil to be revealed below, it's only when a person goes to sleep, goes away his intellect, in exile. All the time, the Jewish people, let's say, were in the Holy Temple, and God was revealed, and it was sort of like there was no possibility to choose bad. And as soon as that possibility presented itself, as people chose bad, they couldn't connect the fact that bad, evil is here in the world, so that we should defy it, because evil is how do you say, appealing. So it says, therefore, there has to be the time of exile. In the time of exile, what happens is then you can't see what good or bad is. There's somehow or other shining revealed the essence of all this whole business. This is a very delicate subject, what we're talking about. It's something like the Rebbe spoke about in the speech that we had last week, that we learned last week, about the dark side of the moon. That when the last half of the month, as we see the dark side of the moon, and that's the moon itself. That's the essence. That's the essence of what the moon is. That's higher than seeing the light of the moon. That's just reflected light. Here it's the same thing. To see in exile, we see the source of good and bad. That's, in other words, so to speak, God himself. That's revealed in exile. We're asleep and our mind doesn't work. A person goes to sleep, his mind doesn't work. So that, like, the power of discernment is not there. Oh, excuse me. Al Zen Amar, and this says, I'll be Shemaim Kaderos. God says, I will clothe the heavens. The heavens are like the spiritual levels, in sackcloth, or in darkness. Shemayim, this is what's called igulim. The upper worlds, they are concealed in darkness, but like we said, the dark side of the moon. So in this world, what we see in this world is just, they say, creations of God, the aspects of reality. But to see true reality, we can't in this world. At least we can't appreciate it. That's why it says when the Torah was given at Mount Sinai, and the Torah is the source of life. The Torah is, when the Torah was given, it says that death ceased from the world. When Torah was given, it says that everybody's souls jumped out of their bodies. They all died. So one second, the Torah is the source of life, but when God gave the Torah, everybody died. How could that possibly be? It says because when God gave the Torah, it was all one. Everything was revealed at the same time, life and death. So it was, they didn't have the vessels to accept the source of godliness. So it came out to be like death. So that's the time of exile. In the time of exile, everything seems to be really bad. But the fact is that what is being revealed is the essence of God. Shu Helam v'Hester Sha'az, then when all the normal world is, all normal good and bad is concealed, then Me'iru mitnotzets milamayla, then comes from the upper world, which that's this level of surrounding level in a way of a dream. Shehu koach madama, this is like the power of imagination. The chabir shtei avachim, and also suddenly all good and bad can be can be united. That's why in the time of the temple, for instance, a person that sinned, he defiled Shabbat, so he was either the court would kill him, or if he didn't have proper witnesses or whatever, so he would be killed from heaven. People wouldn't be able to live. There's the book in the Tanya that explains a person that did sins, is their life would actually stop. They wouldn't live longer than, let's say, 50 years, 60 years old. And nowadays you could have people that do all the sins in the world and they live until 90, 100 years old. Right? Jews, how can it possibly be? Because nowadays what's revealed is, so to speak, the essence. And the essence is above understanding. So therefore everything is all confused. That's why the world is all confused. Jews are against Jews. All of a sudden there's Jews in America that they're for the Hamas, right? And everything is just turning around. Total confusion. Two opposites can be together. Like they are one. Because the truth in its source, in the upper worlds, because really in its source, good and evil are both coming from God. They're both equal. Sham over there is igulim, what we call the surrounding level. Rak lamata, but only one below, bischalkus, when it comes down into this physical world, right, left, and center, good, bad, etc. According to Chachma, according to logic, according to the Torah, Leo's kavzeh, kach, to be one side like this, severity, what's forbidden is forbidden. V'zeh kach, what's permissible is what's a commandment, you must do this, you must not do. Then everything seems to be orderly. It seems to be that good is good and bad is bad. But you can't see the source. That's the point. That one is the opposite. Then you see what's good is good and what's bad is what's bad. Then it becomes clear in the world. But therefore, it's impossible. Therefore, things cannot be unified. In this aspect of Chachma, it can't be revealed. The source. She raises because Chachma, that divides things and orders in an orderly way. The only way you can do it is by sleep. Sleep, everything is separated. Begalus. Azai then there is this upper light of God, then it conceals all order in a way of darkness. In a way of it's being concealed. So the essence of God has to be revealed in a dark way. It's above our comprehension. What we can comprehend is revelations of God, what's clearly good and what's clearly bad. But even just talking about it right now, it makes no sense. What are we talking about? The bad as a source is really good in its source. That sounds like Shabbatai Tzvi and these other people that they took the Torah and they twisted it all around. Twisted it all around, that bad becomes good and good becomes bad. With all these religions, that there's billions of people that believe that according to the Torah, you can believe that a human being is God. Well, that's the opposite of the whole Torah, opposite of the 10 Commandments, right? Quoting the Torah, and the Torah proves that you don't have to honor your father and mother anymore. That you don't have to do any more commandments. The Torah proves it. How can the Torah prove that? That's the opposite of what the Torah is, right? And it succeeds, right? It succeeds. You can defy God and you become very great. How can that be? That's because we're in exile. And in exile, it is revealed that the same God that's creating good is the same God that's creating evil. And it makes no sense. We can't comprehend it. Even talking about it, it seems to be blasphemy or crazy. But nevertheless, that's the truth. Okay, so if so, how is the truth going to be revealed? I mean, what's it? It's something like saying that we should do good only because it's good, not because of any rewards. Because if a person decides he wants to serve God because of rewards, so he'll look around and he'll see that people that do things that are opposite of the Torah, they get more benefits than people that do what's in the Torah. And the Jews have been pursued and they've been killed and they've been slaughtered and they keep doing the commandments. What do they get out of it? What do they get out of it? They get pogroms and they get holocausts and they get hated everywhere. They're cast out. Everybody, the whole world is against them, right? Who needs it? Who needs it? So the answer is don't think about that. If you think about it in terms, any sort of normal terms, then that's not really truly serving God. Truly serving God is like Abraham. He stood to lose everything, and nevertheless he served God. Why? Because that's the essence where seemingly good and bad is equal. Right? God just decided to tell him, right, take your son and kill him. If I decide from the Torah, well, if that's what Abraham said, so maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll be the father of a religion. You'll be a murderer. You can't do that. Well, then why did Abraham do it? He started a whole new religion to do it. It's because he came from a source that's the essence of God. And you're just coming from yourself. So this is a very, very touchy topic. But on the other hand, it's true. We're talking about truth, that God really creates everything. But in the essence of God, there's no difference between good and bad. And God creates bad. He wants there to be bad. He doesn't want us to do bad. But on the other hand, he wants there to be such a thing. And if we do bad, we succeed. We succeed. You see how huge, massive the church is. The 2 billion people believe in, how massive the Islam is. Islam is like 1.5 billion people believe in it. And they all hate the Jews. They all hate the Jews. And we're trying to say we're the chosen people. Some other God chose us. Doesn't make any sense. The answer is, that's right. It doesn't make any sense. That's exile. That's the time of exile. And exile, bad and good can be together. Bad looks like it's good. Good looks good. Well, I see level in the future. It says, okay, what about, how is this thing going to end? It says, now the essence of God is revealed, but it's revealed in darkness. You can't see anything good. Just 1 second. Okay. Well, I see level in the future. It's from my house. I live right near to a hospital. It's a 10-minute drive, 5-minute drive. And they bring the soldiers, when the soldiers get wounded, so they bring them in helicopters. So every time a helicopter passes overhead, it's 99% it means that there's a wounded soldier there. Okay, so I say a little prayer. Ulasi love in the future, Kativ, it is written, V'lo yakanef od morecha. It says, your teacher will not be hidden from you anymore. Right? So now the essence of God is revealed in the time of exile, but it's dark. It's total darkness. We can't perceive it. It's too much for us. We can't understand it, but it's revealed. Right? Something like on Mount Sinai. God revealed his essence. Everybody died. The God is the essence of life. How could the two opposites be together? It's just something is like that right now. Right? The essence of God is revealed, but it's darkness. We can't accept it. So how is Mashiach going to come? As Mashiach is supposed to reveal the essence of God, and the essence of God has to be concealed. It's too much. We can't take it. What's Mashiach? So it says in the future, the essence of God will be revealed. Lo Yakanef will not cover anymore. Your teacher won't be covered. The kanaf v'levush, it says with a garment. Lo Yakanef. Therefore, by Yomahu, on that day, Shem Echad, God will be one and his name will be one. Shalo Yaim Lubash, there won't be any garment that covers over God's name. Nikra Kamo Shenichtav. God's name, remember we learned that before. It says that on that day, God's name will be one, and God will be one and his name will be one. And the Gemara says, 1 second, God isn't one now? It says, no, God is written in one way in the Torah, and you don't read it the way it's written. It's written starting with a yud and then hey and then vav. And you don't read yud, right? You read aleph, daled, nun. That's what we say, Adonai. So why do we do that? It's because now the essence of God is concealed. We can't accept it. It's too much. It says, but in the future, it will be revealed. That's what it says in the future. It says, Yihiyeh will be. Now it's Yud and then Hey Vav Hey. In the future, it's going to be 2 Yud Heys. 2 Yud Heys. In other words, what's concealed, the first 2 letters will be revealed. That'll be the same as the last 2 letters. Why? Ki ayin ba'ayin yiru. It says, we will see God eye to eye. We'll see, like in the Holy Temple. People went to the Holy Temple, and they saw a God. What does it mean they saw a God? They saw and they felt that they're being created. They're being created. The whole world was just a huge miracle, and you felt that there is a creator. Azai then, but in the future it says, Beshuv Hashem es Shivat Zion. It said that's when it says that when God returns all the Jews back to Zion, Hayinu Kacholim, then we're going to be like dreamers. Then we'll be like dreamers. What does it mean? Shidgala Medrega will be revealed, the source of this dream, the source of this unity, Shel Acholom, the source of the dream. Ad Asher Kulam Yakiru, that everyone will know and will recognize and they will know God. V'yasigu Achayos, and they'll grasp the life force which is drawn to them now in the time of Galus. We'll see how it was possible that in the time of exile that bad and good existed together. It was all confused. Why? But now it's revealed, and now the essence of God is concealed. All we see is the confusion. In the future, when the essence of God will be revealed, then it won't be confusion anymore. Good and bad will be clear, and it will see that it's from the essence of God. Good will be our choice. Then in the future will be revealed the essence of what a dream is. That's why it's possible. It says that the Moshiach is going to come and that all the Jews will return to God. So you can ask a question. I mean, that's just insane. I mean, how can all the Jews return to God? Maybe the religious Jews will become more religious or something, or the people who are people are like in a little bit of a doubt. Should I be more religious or shouldn't I be more religious? But you want to tell me totally non-religious Jews will all of a sudden wake up and become religious Jews? Says even more, Jews that don't even know that they're Jews will all of a sudden wake up and they'll become, how is this going to be? How can it possibly be? It says because it's going to be like a dream. In a dream, things can change one opposite to the other in 1 second, in 1 instant. All of a sudden, when a person wakes up especially, right? He wakes up, he was asleep before, he was dreaming, all of a sudden he woke up. Wow. It says, but in the future, we're going to wake up to see the source of the dream that we've had, which is an exile. How it could be the two opposites could exist together, but then we'll see and we'll feel in a revealed way the source of all this God. And therefore, everyone will suddenly turn around to say, wow, I'm going to do what my creator wants. I'm not going to do what it says in some book that somebody made up. And the Torah was given by God himself. Look, and therefore it says, that's when we're going to be, then we'll see what the source of a dream is. Then we'll really be like dreamers. All opposites will become united to be good. Yuvan will be revealed, this level of Yaakov and Yosef by means of dreams. Okay, now it gets a little bit complicated. Listen. Yaakov and Yosef by means of the dreams. Right. So what happened in the beginning of this week's Torah portion? Yosef has dreams, and he dreams that all of his brothers are going to bow down to him, and they hate him because of it. And he gets thrown. They throw him, and it ends up he gets thrown into prison. And in prison, he interprets the dream of the minister of wine, and the minister of wine, he interprets your dream as you're going to get out of prison, and he got out. And the minister of wine, he returns to be the minister of Paro. And Paro has a dream. Paro has a dream that there's going to be the oxes eating up other oxes, and there's going to be the sheaths eating up other sheaths, and doesn't know what it means. And this same minister that Yosef interpreted his dream, all of a sudden he says, wow, hey, I remember I was in prison, and there was this Jewish kid over there, and he interpreted my dream. Paro says, take him out, and he interprets the dream. So we see that Yaakov, his greatness was revealed in Yosef, and Yosef's greatness was revealed through dreams. Why? Because it says Yosef, in some ways, was the highest of all of the Jews that ever lived. In some ways, Yosef has some good qualities which are even higher than Moses. Here we'll see how. Now, this is a little bit Kabbalistic over here. Like it says, ready for this? Here we go. Like it says, Nadav and Avihu, Nadav and Avihu. No, Nadav and Avihu, they lived 200 years, 300 years after Yosef. They lived after Yosef, right? Yosef was put into Egypt. He began the whole Egyptian exile. The Egyptian exile was like 210 years. After that, the Jews got out of Egypt and they built the tabernacle 1 year after they got out of Egypt. And immediately Nadav and Avihu ran inside. They ran inside. They were the sons of Aaron, the high priest. And they ran inside unprepared. They didn't make the proper purchase. They just wanted to be close to God. They ran into the Holy of Holies and they both died. And Moses said, the Koravai Akadesh, they were holier than me. Nadav and Avihu, they were the ones that really inaugurated the tabernacle. What they did was higher than what I did. Nadav and Avihu. It says Nadav and Avihu. It says in Kabbalistic books that Nadav and Avihu, they were the nefesh and the ruach of Yosef. This is a very interesting idea. It says that Adam, the first man, contained all of the souls of all of the Jews. There's books that explain which parts of Adam came down to be which great people in the history of Israel. And that some people were more of a reincarnation of one aspect of Adam than others were. So it says that from Yosef HaTzadik, that he was the one who was saved the whole world. So came from there's 5 aspects of the soul, right? So from the lowest aspect of the soul of Yosef came Nadav. Was that right? Yeah, Nadav, Nefesh. And Avihu was Ruach. No, wrong. Nadav was Ruach and Avihu was Nefesh. Okay, so it says Nadav and Avihu, they were what's called Nefesh and Ruach, these 2 low aspects of the soul of Yosef. And Moses said about them, Nadav and Avihu, that they were holier than Moses himself. That's what Moses said. Okay, so it says, Anachnu tameim lenefesh Adam. We are impure. The nefesh Adam, that's Avihu. He's the nefesh, the lowest level of the soul, but of Yosef. That we are tameim lenefesh Adam. That's the daughters of Salaf, people that came up to Moses and they wanted to do this Pesach Sheni. So they demanded from Moses that they should get, we are impure. Nefesh Adam, he says that was the instigation of Avihu, Nefesh. But that was Avihu. And Nadav, he was the level of Ruach. Ruach was of Nadav. Why? We'll see. Below Yutzurichim, Hazah, he didn't have to be purified. Bishvilo, because of him at all. Nadav was totally pure. It says Nadav was totally pure. He didn't require any a sprinkling of the red cow at all. Okay, so in other words, these 2 were tremendously holy, and they both came from Yosef. That's the point of Yosef. For Allah Ne'amar, it says Ruach Nediva Nadav Nediva Tismacheni. Sentence in Psalms. Okay, that's what it says. Noah Ketzon Yosef. So Nadav and Avihu, they were the ones that inaugurated the holy temple. They inaugurated the tabernacle in the desert. They were the first ones to go in. So in some ways, they brought salvation to all the Jewish people. That's what the temple, that's what the tabernacle did. And they came from Yosef. And we see that's the whole thing of Yosef, is that he explains these dreams. He is the one that interprets this whole exile that we're in. That's where the merit, and his merit is the 3rd temple. The 3rd temple depends on Nadav and Avihu. It says they were the souls that they inaugurated the temple, the tabernacle in the beginning. It says we are conducted like the son of Yosef. These are sentences in Psalms. Key, because Bizman Agalus, in the time of exile, Hanagas Yisrael, the conduct of the Jewish people is like Yosef. We said that's dreams. me'olam ha'igulim, from this tremendously high level. That's what's saving us, what's unifying us. We see another interesting thing in the Jewish people. You have Jewish people that are against Judaism, that hate Israel, that hate Jews, that hate the Torah. They're willing to be part of the Hamas. They're willing to protest against Israel, against Judaism, against this apartheid. Once the Jews say that we hate the whole thing. But if you tell them you're a bad Jew, they'll say, "Who are you to tell me I'm a bad Jew? Who are you to decide what a Jew is?" All of a sudden, they're jealous of their Judaism. They care very much that they're Jews. They will not only will they not deny that they're Jews, they're proud that they're Jews. Right? If they're challenged about it, they're proud of it. How could that be? How could that possibly be? Right? Because that's like a dream. On one hand, Judaism is the essence of their personality, and they're proud that they're Jewish and they're unique and they're different and this. On the other hand, they're not different. They're just the same as everybody else. I don't care about the Torah. I don't want to be different because of those different. The Jews are different. That's what all the Holocaust happened because of that. Right? So you're not Jewish. What are you talking about? I am Jewish. I'm just a Jewish Jew. Well, how can it be? It's a dream. It makes no sense. And then the Jews are willing to hold on to their Jewish identity despite their own ideas and their own opposition to Judaism. That's like from Yosef. That's the power of Yosef. Yosef, that's from the level of cholam, of a dream, like from Igulin, that everything is, the bottom becomes the top becomes the bottom. It's all, there's no order. And therefore, it says Yosef is called Ben Parat Yosef. In the blessings over the Yaakov gave, it says Ben Parat Yosef, Ben Parat Alayayin. It says that Yosef is the son of Poret, Ben Porat, a fruitful son. Poret. Poret are the letters of Topher, same letters. A fruitful son is Yosef. Fruitful, these letters are the same as Topher, to sew together. Shemechaber, that he joins two opposites together. Pofer. And then it says that therefore he would poter, same letters. Poter, therefore he would properly interpret dreams. Poter means he would answer, he would explain the dreams. So Paro had a dream, and because of Yosef, he interpreted the dream, and that saved the whole entire world from famine. The whole entire world would have died if it wasn't for Yosef. So here we see a very interesting thing. Yosef is a very concealed thing. There's also this idea, which is also shrouded in mystery, which is the Moshiach ben Yosef. There's a Moshiach ben Yosef. Who's Moshiach ben Yosef? And we don't pray for Moshiach ben Yosef with Tzemach David Abdacham. It was a Moshiach ben David, with David Mashiachecha. We pray in all of our prayers. We never mention Yosef, right? That Yosef is the prayer, but Yosef is a mysterious figure, right? He saved the whole world, and in Judaism, with the three forefathers are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Yosef was just like an extension, the main extension of Jacob. So there's a lot of opinions of what is this exactly, the Mashiach ben Yosef. But everyone agrees that there is going to be such a thing as Mashiach ben Yosef. One opinion, if I'm not mistaken, is the Ben Ish Chai, says that Mashiach ben Yosef is the Mashiach before he dies. And then after he dies, he's going to become Mashiach ben David. Ben David. Another opinion says that Mashiach ben Yosef is going to die in war. He's going to fight wars. The previous Rebbe was called Yosef, right? And our Rebbe, that he's the Mashiach, so he's, so to speak, the how do you say, the reincarnation of the previous Rebbe. The Rebbe said a lot of times that he's just the previous Rebbe is inside of him. He's the previous Rebbe did not die. The previous Rebbe is still 770. Seems he was referring to himself. Okay, this is already talking about Yosef, mysterious things that we don't really get our hands on. But the Rebbe is trying to tell us that what we see in the world is really just a dream. It's really disordered. But behind this dream is true reality. It's not that the world is false and it's just all a big illusion. The way we put things together, that's the illusion. But the reality is the world is real. To put it together, in order to sew it together, that's the Topher. To put it together, that's the power of Yosef and the power of the Mashiach, that he's going to be the one that's going to make sense out of this whole entire dream that we're in. and reveal the whole source of it, why God did the whole thing in the beginning, all the pain, all the suffering. It'll be, how do you say, explained by Mashiach. How does Kalkiel could possibly explain the pain and suffering of a person, right? It's totally incomprehensible. And that's what's going to happen. And with Mashiach now. Now let's go to the Devar Malchut.